The night is quiet like a held breath, and the world feels as if it is listening as a lone figure moves through the tall shadows of the forest. Her name is Harriet, and her steps carry the weight of centuries, yet her heart carries something stronger than fear. Carries a promise. A promise she made to herself on the day she first tasted the meaning of freedom. She was born into chains under a sky that looked like everyone else's sky, yet hers was a world claimed by others. The fields were wide and the days were long, and the sun did not warm so much as it watched. She learned early that the body can be bound, but the spirit will search for cracks in the walls. And in those cracks she found hope. Hope that whispered to her in the rustle of leaves and the running of the river, and the distant call of a bird that soared where no one could stop it. One day she heard her own spirit speak so clearly that she could no longer ignore it. Run. Not because you are fearless, but because you know you deserve to breathe a different air. So she stepped into the darkness and let the moon guide her across marshes and forests, and the quiet trembling line between life and death. Every sound could have been danger, yet she kept going. Every shadow could have held pursuit, yet she kept going. Her heartbeat was a drum of determination echoing through the night until at last she crossed into a land where no master could claim her name. There she exhaled a breath she had been holding her entire life. Freedom. But it did not taste complete. Because behind her were others still trapped in the world she had fled. Faces she remembered, hands she held, voices she grew up hearing. She could not rest while they remained unfree. And so she returned. She returned again and again, guided by faith, instinct, and an unbreakable will that seemed carved from the oldest stone. She moved like night wind, silent and sure, a figure that slipped past patrols and hunters and every threat imagined to stop her. People whispered that she could not be real. That no woman, no person could venture into danger that many times and always emerge untouched. But she was real. Real enough to lead men and women and children out of bondage. Real enough to earn the name Moses though she never asked for it. Real enough to strike fear into those who believed they owned the bodies and futures of human beings. Every journey she made began with a look into frightened eyes and a quiet voice saying, "We go tonight. There is no turning back. Trust me." Many feared the unknown more than the chains they wore. But she carried a strength that reached into their fear and steadied it. She never lost a single passenger on the long road north. Not one. Because she refused to. Because she knew that every soul who walked beside her carried a universe of worth. The nights were long and the paths were uncertain. Sometimes the sky hid the stars and the rain washed away footprints and confidence alike. But she pressed on. She learned the secrets of the land. How the moss grew. How the rivers curved. How the wind shifted before dawn. Each clue became a thread in the map she wove inside her mind. A map used not for escape alone but for salvation. The price on her head grew larger with every mission. Posters spread across towns with promises of wealth for anyone who captured her. Hunters stalked the woods imagining they could outwit the woman who had slipped through their hands time after time. But Harriet walked with something more powerful than luck. She walked with purpose. She walked with belief. She walked with the certainty that no human being was born to live on their knees. When the war between North and South thundered across the nation, she did not retreat to safety. She stepped forward. She served as a nurse tending to wounded soldiers with steady hands. Then as a scout who read the land better than any map. And finally as a leader. A woman guiding armed men through the night to free hundreds more in a single breathtaking strike. She became the first woman in the history of the land to command such an operation. And when the riverbanks exploded with the rush of men, women, and children fleeing the plantations she had helped liberate, the air filled with cries that sounded like the breaking of chains. Yet even victory did not soften her resolve. In the years that followed, she fought for the rights of women, carrying her voice into halls where her presence demanded attention. She stood for the dignity of all people because she had seen what happened when dignity was denied. She knew the value of a free life better than anyone. As she aged, her body slowed, but her spirit never dimmed. Those who spoke with her said her eyes still held the fire of every journey her feet had taken. A fire made of courage and sacrifice, and a love so fierce it defied the darkest systems built by human hands. And now when we speak her name, the world feels a little fuller, a little braver. Her story is not a distant tale confined to books and monuments. It is a pulse. A reminder that one person who refuses to bow can lift countless others to their feet. Her path was carved in night, but it shines across time like a river of light. She showed us that freedom is not given. It is chosen. It is claimed. It is protected by those who care more for justice than for safety. So imagine her once more, moving through the quiet woods, guiding another terrified family along the hidden trail. Her voice gentle, her steps steady, the horizon opening before them. She turns back only once to be sure they are all still together. Then with the grace of someone who knows the road better than her own heartbeat, she leads them on. Toward a dawn they have never seen. Toward a life they have never known. Toward a future that would echo her name as long as hearts remember what courage looks like when it walks in human form.